Feel the thunder, lightning for the thunder. Oh, it's recording. Whatever. How's it going, YouTube? It's Lucas here from DV205 channel with I guess I don't really need to involve the kicker, but I guess I could. With the Black Thunder, Radio Shack, or not, Nikko. I don't know why I said Radio Shack. Nikko Black Thunder 2-wheel drive monster truck that came out probably at some point after the kicker. I don't know why I'm at a loss for words here. Interestingly, it's black, obviously, painted up all 80s like, so probably around the 80s. I don't know why the hood scoop is all the way back there. This thing is the same chassis as the kicker. I don't know which one came first, the chicken or the egg, but just kind of overview this thing. This thing is, again, 2-wheel drive, full function. I mean, whatever do you expect from this? The main thing that it has is sounds. I mean, no lights, but sounds. As you can tell by this on, start, run, and start. And also horn. Now, I made an error in my last video of the kicker in that this is the controller for this. Whoa. This is the controller for this. This is not the controller for that. Technically, this is the controller for the kicker. Am I confusing you yet? Probably not. Anyway. So, this thing uses a standard 7.2 volt NiCad or NIM battery. And it's fairly fun. It makes noxious sounds, as you can tell by the thunder sound in the back and the front. Interestingly enough, it does not have the drugs or dead end on the tailgate, which I find to be a massive disappointment. The tires are, I think the rims are the same, but the tires are smaller for some reason, so it goes technically a little bit slower. That's kind of nice because it has acceleration. Kind of a pinspike chevron on this one, and just a regular chevron on the kicker. Interestingly, no motor movement on this one, because the kicker has the, light up engine and swiveling, if I can, like this, but the Black Thunder, unfortunately, does not, everything else being close to the same. The chassis is the same. The body is the only thing different. Actually, the body is the same too, but it doesn't have the cutout for the engine. It doesn't have rumblies. Has just spring dampened shocks, and has, I don't even know what to call this style suspension. Pin style, I guess. I don't really know. Pin style on the front, just a solid rear axle in the rear. Has your trim adjustable on the vehicle itself. Place for your battery. You don't have to worry about having any sort of other receiver pack because they have that covered with the battery. 2-speed on the back of the truck, even though it has turbo on the controller. It has 2-speed regardless, as I think most vehicles probably did of this time. So, otherwise, light bar in the rear that doesn't actually work, sadly enough. Big front bumper and literally nothing in the rear. Does have a differential. I don't think there ever actually was one of this chassis that doesn't have a differential, but this one, both of these do. Yeah, with the sounds, they're kind of loud because it's like a 2-inch speaker or something in here, and it's spectacularly loud. None of the controls are actually on the vehicle. I just love hitting my friggin' tripod, don't I? None of the controls are actually on the body. You can vaguely see where that would go, but none of the controls are on the truck itself for the start, stop, or the start and run and off. That's all on the controller, and the horn is also on the controller, which makes a lot more sense. The kicker actually has the horn on the controller too, but that doesn't, that would make more sense than having the horn on the truck. So the sounds, decent. They're kind of screechy and not very engine noise. It's more of like, think of a spaceship, Star Wars, and a car. Otherwise, when you are in turbo, or at sometimes even just going regular speed, if you turn, it will make horrible screeching sounds that are purposeful because tire screeching. They get kind of annoying after a while, but at the same time, I love them because they're noisemakers, and people usually don't expect sounds to come from an electric vehicle like this. And the only reason I picked this up is, well, A, I mean, it's the same thing as the kicker, but also B, because it was relatively cheap. I found this at a thrift store, and it's in great condition. It's actually amazing how nice this thing looks. So yeah, that's about all that I have about this thing. It's essentially the same vehicle, except the kicker has the rumbly V8 and different sounds, different tires. I should mention, yeah, the kicker has slightly different sounds. And also the kicker has all the switches and stuff on the body of the truck. So I don't know which one really came first because both of them seem to kind of both of them hint at being first, because this one doesn't have anything on the vehicle, but also doesn't have the rumbling V8, and doesn't have, I mean, it's weird. I don't really know. Body, I don't really know what it is. I mean, I can say whatever. Honestly, I could say Ford, Dodge, Chevy, and I mean, they're essentially the same freaking truck, and people get mad at me for saying that, but they're essentially the same looking vehicles of that time. It could even be a freaking Toyota for all I care. I don't really know. Given that Nikko has a thing with Toyota, I'm sure that probably makes sense. Probably? I think so. Yeah, that's about all I have to talk about this vehicle. I seemed kind of scatterbrained through making this video, and I'm not too sure if I'm actually entirely happy with it, but I'm just going to release it because I haven't done anything in the past couple of months, or month I should say. So, Lucas out. Bye YouTube.